Dang it. Round 200 with the OA Defense 2311 Pro Elite. Let's do the quick history rundown. Starting in 2021, founded as Oracle Defense, which then switched over to OA Defense. And this was in Dayton, Nevada. It was made up of competition shooters, veterans, and industry experts, and they went from a prototype to functioning. They went from basically a napkin drawing to a prototype in 18 months for SHOT Show in 2023, and I may have those dates a little bit wrong, but from there, 23 to 2024, they pumped out the original Legacy now. This is one of the Legacy models, 2311s, from their Nevada location. And then in 2025, they moved to North Carolina to set up in a 30,000 square foot warehouse manufacturing plant. Fun fact is Dave Woolman, who is the co-founder and VP, is also the president of Laugo Arms USA. And if you don't know who they are, I implore you to look them up. That is another little subject of conversation, I will say, for me. Let's get into 200. I'm not going to talk about it too much. We'll talk about it in the outro and go over a couple of things. One of them being the magazines that are not being used. Actually, never used, which may be something of consequence later on, but won't worry about that right now. Let's get into it. I will talk about it a little bit afterwards, and we'll see you there. Enjoy.
This video is intended for educational and informational purposes only. All firearm handling shown is performed by trained individuals in a controlled environment. Always follow the 4 rules of gun safety. Number 1, treat your firearm as if it is loaded. Number 2, never point a firearm at anything you do not intend to destroy. Number 3, keep your finger off the trigger until you are ready to shoot. Number 4, be sure of your target and what's beyond it. Comply with all local, state, and federal laws regarding firearms. Do not attempt to replicate any action seen in this video without proper training and safety measures. The creators assume no liability for misuse or unsafe practices.
Hello, you. Welcome back here to the Pew for this 1,000 round review series of the OA Defense 2311 Pro Elite. It doesn't say Elite on here, but trust me, it does. This is round 200 with the Pro Elite, the 2311 from OA Defense, because the guest shooter will have shot 100 rounds through it, and we're going to pick up today with the official entry of the first 100 rounds, but starting at 200. So let me just go over a couple of housekeeping rules and policy, regulation, whatever I have. I do static shooting for the first 1,000 round review, whether it's a used gun or brand new. I draw fire from inside the waistband, outside the waistband, into targets ranging from 10 to 100 yards, and that way I can understand and feel and really familiarize myself with the characteristics, eccentricities, and nuances of the pistol. Naturally, it's not going to cover all of them, but it's going to get me a firm grasp on what the gun is about. And if or there is a break-in period with a handgun or a firearm, then I will have gone through that with that 1,000 round shoot. So 10 episodes, 100 rounds each episode, and this is what I do. So I also don't use any sort of modifications or aftermarket parts unless it was already put onto the used firearm that I purchased, and there's no way for me to switch out the part in time, and I've already done that with a couple of firearms. If they have a red dot, I try to take that off and just use the iron sights. When I use the iron sights, I keep both eyes open just because it's a lot easier for me to get sight acquisition. I'm just used to it so much now, and I want to see out of my periphery of both eyes what's going on to my flanks, even though I'm not really worrying about bushes blowing in the wind. But anyway, thank you so much for being here. If you're just joining me, I do appreciate everybody subscribing, liking, recommending, commenting, all that jazz like every other YouTuber does. And everything is paid for by me. I buy all the gear, the the stands, the marijuana, the ammo, the firearms, all the gear, cameras, memory cards, targets, fuel for the mobile device, meaning my car, vehicle. All right, so enough of that. We're going to be shooting today, and I also shoot a range of ammunition, 115, 124, 147 respectively. Also EDC weapons I shoot hollow point through. This is not an EDC, this is a range toy, this is competition. So I'm going to be shooting Blazer 115 grain full metal jacket. I can't remember, I think it was 124 that the guest shooter shot through last time. This takes 320 mags, and I know there's not a lot of fans of SIG at the moment, let alone the 320. But I've shot through the 320 and I enjoy it, I like it, and I have a lot of the magazines, so I will be using these because that's what the 2311 takes. Shooting with G-code, oh sorry, not G-code. I've got the thigh rig here from Condor, as you can see, and we'll be shooting at a distance of, this is going to be 12 for the tree, and then another 20 for the orange silhouette. We'll be shooting using Blackhawk. This is a Blackhawk mag caddy. This is a 2 We the People mag pouches, an LAG custom mag caddy, and another We the People mag pouch. So yeah, let's start. I'm going to load. We'll speed that up a little bit, and we'll get going here at 20 yards just to get a feel for it. This is my first time shooting it. This is not the first time it's been shot. Like I said, the guest shooter shot it. I oiled it a little bit just to give it a little bit more slippy slidey. I'm excited to shoot it. We'll go over the nuances of it in a second as I load up the magazines. I put on too many mag caddies, so I'll take one off. Stand by, let me get some more boo-boo Band-Aid. Okay, so let's just take a quick peek here at the firearm itself and just list out all the things that I initially loved about the firearm. The grip texture, this undercut here, smooth for the for your middle finger. Back here, there's no safety like the 1911 is or has. It's nice and smooth. This texture is just grips you so nicely. It's not too aggressive, although it looks like it. Nice and aggressive. Magazine well is nice and huge. Extended mag release. All of these cuts here inside of the trigger guard are perfect for your fingers, your middle finger underneath here, and my index finger, because I shoot like so. Perfect. 2 gas pedals on either side, and I heard that they're coming out with larger ones. Picatinny rails, beautiful. It's got 2 ports on the barrel. It's got slide cuts for those ports. Another slide cut at the top, reduce weight. The slide release, though, it's still a little far for my thumb, and my hand's pretty big, so it has wonderful safeties that you can engage, and when you disengage, you can rest your thumb on top so you're not in the way of the slide stop, but that's not going to be a problem. Hammer is not skeletonized, but that's okay, not a big problem. And the weight, the overall weight and feel of it is just home. It's just home. It's so beautiful. So beautiful. Okay, let's get this going. Oh, also I shoot with 10 round magazines. I know they look like they're a little bit larger, but they are 10 rounds. I make sure of that because Oh yeah, this is single action only. I make sure of that because YouTube has very strict guidelines that state that you can only shoot 10 round magazines, otherwise it's high capacity and they won't allow it. So we're shooting 10 rounds. These magazines are 10 rounds. 10 rounds. Always. Ever, forever, always, ever. Write that down. Wonderful. I'm excited to shoot this for the first time. I'm building up to it because this was a pretty expensive little piece. So let's get her going. Oh gosh. Dang. Recoil impulse is very minimal, very, very flat. Wonderful. The guest shooter did have, I'm also too, that trigger is just super light. Oh, I have their safety on, so super, super light to touch. I think it's like 3 pounds maybe. But the guest shooter, when they shot it, he shot it, it snaggled on several rounds actually. So that was unfortunate. Not sure why. All right, I'm gonna go for the tree just to see where the sights are, and they are spot on. Ooh, we got a stovepipe. Yeah, all right. Maybe it's just a break-in period of 200 rounds, which I don't know about, but you know, being a range toy, I'm not gonna throw up a huge fuss unless it keeps doing it, which, you know, that guest shooter had those issues and I didn't like that. Oops. Unintentional. Ooh, gosh, that is smooth. And it throws the brass right on top of you, so it's interesting. Might have put too much oil, too much lube. All right, let's do it for the tree. I usually like to hit as I draw. There we go. Yeah, the sight, orange sight, is very, very visible, and it helps out tremendously when you're going around. Especially for those trees. All right, do the orange, the yellow silhouette. Oh, my safety was on. Let me start that over. Smooth. This thing is smooth shooting. It's very, very smooth. Oh, okay. Wow. Wowie, wowie. I'd say these ports are quite functional. Quite functional. Okay. Safety is on. Duh. Oops. Failure to extract. That's not good. That is punched down for some reason. Weird. I'll try to shoot it at the end. I don't know. Whew, man, that is one smooth beast. All right, I'll try to shoot it. Oh, right. I was like, what am I doing? Bad. Bad. No double taps for you. Failure to extract. Oops, too high. Failure to extract again. Don't like it. Failure. Ooh, stovepipe. Interesting stovepipe. Whew, okay, well, I love it, but I don't. That's not my full review. It's not my full review, but it's definitely my first impressions. When it works, it works. When it doesn't, it doesn't. And when you're shooting for competition or just having fun on the range, whatever, when you shoot a firearm, you want it to work. So I reserve my judgment for later, but as of right now, and along with the previous shots of the guest shooter, we'll see. Tell me in the comments if you have an OA defense, whatever pistol, and if you've had similar issues. I have Blazer 115. This is factory ammo. I don't know. Love it, but I don't. Let me know your thoughts down below. Stay tuned for 300. And we're going to, oh yeah, and stay for the outros. Make sure you get for center mass, pick up your brass, wash your ass. Say hi to your mom for me. Another 100 rounds, well, give or take 100 rounds. I guest shooter went over just by a little bit, so he went to 119 and I went just under 100 by 4? No, 5. 3. Anyway, I'll have to take a look. I think it's 5. I'll have to take a look at it, and I think I made it up later on, but if I don't, I'll come back and fix that in the review. The design language of the firearm is incredible. It's wonderful. It feels good when you hold on to it. All of the places for your hand, finger placement, everything is is right on point. We've got a little wiggle here with the slide stop, ambidextrous slide stop. You can see just a little wiggle. I think that's just needs to be tightened, but I took it apart. I don't know how to do that yet. I'll look into that a little bit, but overall, this is a outstanding ergonomic, can be ambidextrous firearm, and I was very impressed with all of it when I first handled it. And today was underwhelming, to say the least, and I will wait to go on for further shoots to see what else happens with the 2311 Pro Elite. Mentioned the break-in period. I mentioned it in the previous video. It's about 1 to 200 with 124, 147, which we did shoot in the first 119 rounds. We had a mixture of 115, 124, and 147. Today was just 115, so that could have been the reason why I had some issues. Also, I was using the P320 magazines instead of these Magpul A mags that came with the firearm, 5 of them in fact, which was very nice, but I haven't used those, so I don't know if that could be the case, why I wasn't feeding that well, or could have been the 115. I don't know. Yeah, this is one of the original, out from Dayton, built in Dayton. So I have a legacy model that I'm very appreciative of, but we definitely have to check with more feedback from the community, and then also maybe even send it back to see what is going on with the model, this variant. Trigger pull, as I mentioned in the video, I'll get my trigger weight thingy later on and do the pull for the next one. But please, any of you who have an OA defense, any of you who have the legacy or the newer models, the newer current generation variants, let me know if you've had any troubles. I've heard good things and I've heard not so good things. So I am still at 200, so I will save either not good things or good things until the end, while building the case episode by episode. But if you can hear it in my voice, I am reserved. Overall, it's just wonderful. When it shoots, and it's so accurate, so on point, very, very fun when it does its job. And I hang on that, and I reserve my judgment and all of my other comments for later, because when is not a word that you want to use with a firearm. When is not part of the vocabulary when you're shooting. It is always like shot for shot, right? I think I mentioned before, if I have to mention the reliability as a pro, then I shouldn't be shooting it, because a firearm should always shoot. If a Glock is doing it, come on, let's go. I mean, maybe I have high expectations and I'm expecting too much from modern day manufacturers, but correct me if I'm wrong. If there's a tried and true method, and we're trying to compete, and we're trying to have different products on the market, sure, but if you can't put rounds down range, because in a brand new firearm down range, I don't think anybody has any business, because there's so many options. There's so many other options to do the thing that you want to do, that you love, and yeah, let's face it, that's just, in this day and age, that is untenable. Reliability is not a pro, it is not a con, it should not be on the list for whether or not a firearm is good or not. It should be across the board. Maybe back when David was throwing rocks at Goliath, you can say that, well, yeah, the gun would shoot sometimes, that's okay, we're still used to the slingshot, but today, no, there's no excuse. Maybe that's just my 2 cents. Tell me what you think. Like, subscribe, comment, recommend, all that jazz, not in that particular order. Thank you so much for being here. Also, not a very popular firearm. It's not really out there. It looks good. It has done well, but I don't think it's very popular. So let me know what you think. Come back tomorrow for round 300. We'll see you then. 照顾好自己，注意安全。